It is said that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a small step. In the year 1920, on 8th of July, a small city of Uttar Pradesh named Unnao witnessed the birth of a baby boy into a Srivastava family. At the age of 6, the boy lost his parents. Holding his uncle's hand, the boy started to take small steps. At that time, no one knew that this young lad would one day go on to become the country's most distinguished and honored diplomat, who would scale great heights with his sheer academic brilliance, excellent leadership abilities, and great determination. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Dr. Chandrika Prasad Srivastava. Dr. C.P. Srivastava, or Dr. C.P. or Sir C.P. as he was fondly known as, was an exceptionally brilliant student of the Lucknow University.
A lot of people do not know that he also stood first in his law exam, which he gave when he was not very well, and he wrote the papers with the help of someone at that time, and he still stood first. So his brilliance was outstanding, and well, that that brilliance coupled with his humility and his compassion and his love has has taken him to great heights, not only professionally but even in his personal life.
Guided by his uncle, his career in civil services took off in Lucknow and Meerut. He served as the city and additional district administrator respectively in these areas. Dr. C.P. Srivastava's career progressed at an astounding pace, thanks to his impressive personality, experience, and skill in administration. Dr. C.P. took charge as a Deputy Secretary, Ministry of Transport in 1958. Between 1959 and 1960, he became the Senior Deputy Director General of Shipping, Government of India. Then, from 1961 to 1964, he held an extremely prestigious position of the Managing Director, Shipping Corporation of India Limited, Government of India. Given his talent and distinguished work in civil services, it was hardly a surprise when he was appointed the Joint Secretary between 1964 to 1966 during Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri's tenure. After the death of the Prime Minister from 1966 to 1973, Shipping Corporation of India Limited was privileged to have him lead the organization as chairman of the board of directors and managing director. Under the guidance of a gifted leader like him, Shipping Corporation of India became the largest shipping company of India. It boasted of a well-diversified fleet of cargo liners, tankers, bulk carriers, and passenger ships, a rare feature for a developing country. That tenure exposed him to global maritime operations and international maritime organization. So impressive was his work in the field of maritime and shipping in India that in the year 1974 he was elected Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization (IMO), served 4 successive terms for a period of 16 years. This tall and lanky diplomat made all Indians proud. He is the longest serving Secretary General to date of this London-based organization. IMO flourished during Dr. C.P. Srivastava's tenure. The membership of the organization increased. In his tenure at the IMO, he constantly encouraged use of satellites for maritime communications. Encouraging developing countries to join the organization was also a matter close to his heart. The current status of the organization's membership, well represented by developing countries, is a fitting testimony to his relentless efforts. His real interest and passion lay in the field of training and welfare of seafarers. The shipping industry in India as it is today is an outcome of Dr. C.P.'s unparalleled contribution to the field. An excellent administrator, his heart went out to the seafarers and maritime personnel, especially their safety and training. His resolve to do that was rock solid. That led to the establishment of cutting-edge maritime educational institutions. World Maritime University (WMU) in 1983 in Sweden and the International Maritime Law Institute (IMLI) in Malta. He was also the pioneering force behind establishment of International Maritime Safety Security Environment Academy (IMSSEA). The membership of IMO stood greatly benefited by his visionary presence at the top. He was named IMO Secretary General Emeritus after his retirement in 1989, a testimony to Dr. C.P. Srivastava's extraordinary tenure with the IMO. His work was so remarkable that he was conferred by Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom the title of Honorary Knight Commander of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, KCMG, in the year 1990. He was the first Indian to receive this honor. That got this great man the title of Sir. The Order of Prince Henry the Navigator, a Portuguese national order of knighthood, was also conferred upon him for his matchless contribution to shipping and maritime industry. A number of state, national, and academic honors are an ode to his spectacular career spanning more than 4 decades. The most prominent being the Padma Bhushan and the Padma Vibhushan, both among the highest civilian honors in India. Along with his career, which shone like an ever-luminous pole star, he laid his heart bare on paper. A prolific writer, he wrote a number of books, namely Corruption, India's Enemy Within, Lal Bahadur Shastri, A Life of Truth in Politics. Dr. Srivastava can truly be considered as one of the greatest ambassadors of the 20th century for his outstanding achievements and accomplishments.
Attending these meetings made me attracted towards him because he had always a good and kind word for everybody, and he was a born leader. Because of my contact while at Scindia offices, that when I thought of producing this Tolani Maritime Institute, he was available and not required to go abroad. So we requested him to come and chair our meetings, which he very kindly agreed. This was my good fortune that because of him we learned so many things, because he always had proper worldwide knowledge about shipping and working of different institutions. So this made me very close to him and his family.
Dr. and Mrs. Tolani have been family for us for many, many years, and I remember the respect and love that both my parents and me and my husband have for the entire Tolani family. They have been to my wedding, to my daughter's weddings, and we share a very, very close personal family bond.
At a personal level, Dr. C.P. Srivastava credited all his success to his wife, Nirmala Devi, the founder of the Sahaj Yoga meditation movement. He was a sincere practitioner of that form of yoga. According to him, it helped him strike a balance in everything he did. He equally treasured his two daughters. Working till the last, age was hardly a hindrance for this 93-year-old bureaucrat par excellence.
For me, my husband, and my family, they have been wonderful parents and wonderful grandparents. As grandparents, also, I would like to recall an incident. When my elder daughter Aradhna was about 6 years old, we were in London. She had refused to eat well, and although they tried very hard to feed her, she had become a very, she used to eat very, very little. So my father asked her, "What would you like me to do? I'll give you anything if you eat your food properly." And she looked at him and said, "Will you come and attend my next birthday party?" And he immediately agreed. I know that he was very busy, and I told him, I said, "Well, I'll try and tell her that you can't come at this time, but please don't, change your programs." But he said, "No. Once I make a promise, I have to fulfill it." And there he was. He came in on the 2nd of September, early in the morning, and he left late at night, that is the early morning of the 3rd, so he could be back for his work. Such was his commitment to his word.
World's greatest explorer Christopher Columbus was born in Italy's biggest seaport, Genoa, and it was here that Dr. Srivastava breathed his last. Perhaps a befitting resting place for this ardent crusader of seafarers.